Good morning, ladies and gents, and welcome in to another episode of A Different View. We probably got about two of these to wrap up here in this series. I think one, I have to take time to dedicate to talking about parenting, because parenting, the parent-child relationship, is another relationship. We're going to get into some topics here to tie in some things from last time, because again, we had to wrap up. We needed to wrap up. Try not to go too long on a lot of these topics, because in reality, a lot of these things are actually self-explanatory. God has made the world really, really simple to live in. Our creator, our designer, has made this world very simple to live in, but people make it complicated. So I did rush through a few things. So I want to go back and I want to talk on this becoming one thing. People really don't know how serious it is. Again, it is a constant, and then we're going to go on and we'll end today. And again, we hope one before we fully get in, thank y'all for your support. We're now over 200 views. I know since June. However people want to judge a thing, again, for something that wasn't going to have, or what I thought wouldn't have any press, is beginning to get a lot of press out there. People are starting to talk. The word is getting out. That's what we want, guys and gals. That's what you want. You want to make an impact. Again, we're not looking to be popular, but we're looking to make an impact. We want to help people. Okay? And to whoever it might help, so be it. Again, understanding that, yes, we got 3 days left on Black History Month, okay? Again, understand that thought process does not end when March 1st, 2024 begins. If you want to learn the life you live around, you just don't compact it all into 28 or 29 days. You dedicate 365 days to it. I'm sorry. But again, people history is people history, and the last I checked, even though we've made these distinctions with racism and classism, all of this garbage, a caste system, like what you see, like what you see or saw in history in the nation of India. Again, take it for what you want. The real Indians are those who live in India. And they are also native to those lands. So you again, they played a real bad game, guys, by just picking and choosing what names they wanted to put on people. You know, again, you twist the holy notion of humans. We read the verse, right, where, humans are naming things, even up to one human naming another human. Because let's just break it down. Let's get past the gender part. Humans, again, male and female are both humans. Last I checked. So, some women might think men aren't. Some men might think women aren't human. But again, we are both human. So, with very striking characteristics that are very similar. Again, we may revisit the sex thing down the road here, especially if we get into a news article where it's necessary to talk about. Like for instance, I could tie in a conversation about sex and sexual education, because again, people know very little about the BDSM range, if you will. Many folks just think that is some weird, gross, hellish thing, and it is not. Again, you start doing study scientifically, the body has many pleasure zones in many places. You have to question to yourself, why in the world would God create it that way if the thing is only supposed to be done one way? We just having a plain old conversation, y'all. We just walking the road, having a conversation. You take it for what you want. I understand. Again, we come back to the thought process. Somebody might like fried chicken. Somebody might not like fried chicken. Because the other person don't like fried chicken, don't mean you ain't supposed to be eating fried chicken. There's no other way really of saying that. And we built a whole thing around this. Again, you got to realize that the words of God were messed with very horribly in order to push governmental thought process. That's it. Unfortunately. Again, we got really cute words, like I could have said for political purposes. Again, those words are taken out of context. Anybody can be political because the word political means it comes from the base of the word politic, which means for you to talk about something. It means you to talk about something. You can go look it up online. While we're here, I'll wait. And we're here, man. We're here to help, guys. So, getting into this whole one thing here. Let's keep it moving. That word cardinal, because again, the definition of the word one is the lowest cardinal number. That's the way they have said it. When you go to look at the word cardinal, of course, it's dealing with those in church, aka Catholicism, those ministers that are right under the Pope. Again, we understand they call them priests. You got different names here, y'all. See again, break down the divisions. Oh, KJ, it's not cool to just be, mixing all these things together. There's years of history. Let me tell y'all something real quick, okay? And it's no disrespect, man. Humans are making up distinctions off the verses they're reading, okay? That does not mean that that's the only thing in those verses of what it's saying. And then y'all turned around off of what you thought it said, and you've made something out of it. And while that's cool for you to do, understand the original thought, okay? Again, priest, the minister, y'all are all guardians over a certain thing, which is what we will get into when we start dealing with parents, because guess who else is a guardian? The parent. I know in the news they've been wanting to change the word parent to guardian. Guys, don't even trip. You are a guardian. You call you whatever you have been charged with the responsibility to take care and nurture your child to the point where they can, quote unquote, do it on their own. And while they are doing it on their own, for as long as you draw breath, you are still a guardian. Hard to wrap the mind around, because again, you're talking about something that is lifelong, guys. And in a world where we got a lot of choices and we can choose and pick up and move and keep it moving, all that kind of thing, understand there are some absolutes. And one of them is when you have a kid, that's your baby. It don't change when they hit 18 and 21, y'all. That's your baby. It is your child, your responsibility. And in the same tone does not mean you go controlling your kid's life. You are there as a guide, a guardian. A show, we talk about fortune telling. You are there to show them the way, show them the future. Why? Because you lived it. See, past, present, and future. Never mind. Cardinal, right? Because we're getting over into a different thing. We will get into that with kids here in a minute. Again, relationships. Cardinal literally deals in the Latin word cardinalis. This is as the adjective when you look up the etymology of the word cardinal. Chief or pivotal. This was used back in the 1400s. So again, we've already gone over certain things here with that time period. Lovely time period in history, y'all. You should study it. Oh, the horror you will find. While there is some basis for some things in the Renaissance and blah, 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 go past all that to what people were doing to each other. It's horrible, man. No different in today, just with different tools today. That's why I'm saying we ain't come that far. We ain't come that far, because we can fly in the air at 40,000 miles above sea level, blah, 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 blah. Again, we still doing the same thing. So before you go crazy about how far we've been, we ain't, nope. You know what? I'll say we've come pretty far, which again, we'd only be meeting where we were to begin with. When you start seeing more black communities functioning, thriving without getting burned to the ground, then maybe I'll be like, yeah, maybe we're coming somewhere. Until then, yeah, no, we're good. We're good. And I already know what people see. Again, we talk about the defenses in the mind. No, well, KJ, see, we got this here, and y'all got these black billionaires there, and you got these black millionaires here. We're talking few to the many. Reverse it when you're talking about Black Wall Street, and it was the many against the few. I know it's a revolutionary thought here, but this is what we're about. Turn away, right? Bible's telling you to, if you want your land healed, turn from you. Yeah, you got to revolt. Anyway, Chief, pivotal, right? From the Latin word cardinalis, again, just repeating, principal, chief, essential, a figurative use, literally meaning pertaining to a hinge. From part of the base word cardo in cardinalis, which means that on which something turns or depends. Like a door hinge. It's just right on line, y'all. Relation, now, again, we're talking becoming one, right? You are the hinge. Okay? You're becoming the hinge. What did we say? Marriage is one type of relationship. Guys, understand when you speak on this topic, life literally hinges on how well we relate to each other. Here is a note. There is a blaring connection between relationships and the word relation, in which there is a common denominator. Relate. Without relating, there can be no relationship of any kind. And that is where humanity has, is, and will fail. Cultural appropriation, guys, is not relating, because while all cultures borrow something from each other, let's just be honest, everybody had braided hair back then. You look at the Vikings, they had braided hair. You look at Africans, they had braided hair. You're all over the place with the braided hair thing, right? Different cultures had different clothes they wore. If you are wearing those things out of respect, we're talking about the stuff you would get killed for back in the day. If you are doing a certain thing out of honor and respect, which then again, unless you were in a certain status inside of a community, the way people thought. Now, again, if you have a more open thought, people can wear different things, okay? Again, we're talking about it in a respectful manner, but people can wear different things. This is where, when you talk about certain things of our families, where they missed it, okay? And shout out to the parents and the step-parents, because I know we like to malign the step-parents, but shout out to the parents and step-parents who hold a standard. Just don't let the child or children do anything. You're not learning nothing that way, just going here and there and all around the square. To borrow the phrase from Frosty the Snowman, no, guys. You gotta. There are, again, you got absolutes. There's not a ton, but you got a few absolutes in this world. Respect is one of them. Okay, so when you're talking about cultural appropriation, of course, yes. We can share in the whole thing, but understand where from the heart are you coming from? And again, God talks about how men do a certain thing, but God is looking at the heart of a thing. And more times than not, when you stare at people who do that kind of thing, they already got something off on the inside. So certain things, when you about yourself, I don't even have to do all that. I got to dress like somebody from Sweden. You see what I'm saying? We trying to find out how to dress as somebody of the darker skin tones. What did it look like from all over the world? Whether it was Australia, the islands, North America, Central America, South America. Dark folks is all over the place, y'all. All over. See, again, we're talking about that part of it because that is the part that is malaligned. Everybody want to make it look like there was just a whole lot of light folk all over the place. That was not the case. Again, we talking about when you do anthropological studies, hey, y'all, let's just be honest. And we understand there's a lot of people who do a lot of lying and storytelling and how it actually looked back. Again, that's why you got to keep studying and restudy. The study to show thyself approved does not mean you stopped at one point. You keep studying. Because you want to know the truth. And people done mess with it. I need to know. So we're going to keep on digging. Yeah, guys, giving credit to where it's due. Here's a question. How can you have a relationship and never relate with the person or entity you want a relationship with? Again, we're taking the word relationship and thinking sexually. We're not thinking about relating. Relation, you, in order to have something in which you, again, go back to the definition of the word relationship. Because this is where it happens. People forget a thing. The sense or state of being related by kindred affinity. Now, affinity is just dealing with what connects you. What, you like the movies, I like the movies. There's a relationship there. You got movie buddies. Is one, you know what I'm saying? Bromance is one of these words used. That is a relationship, okay, between two dudes who get it. Whatever, however you want to say it for sister mance. I don't know, whatever you want to use for females. Just say it that way, right? Okay. Or other alliance. Well, again, that's a relationship, guys. That's the word. That's the. Again, the way, just the definition outside of the etymology, like what we have said it to be, not really where the word itself comes from, the way or method or style or manner in which two or more concepts, objects, or people are connected, or the state of being connected, aka becoming one. So, therefore, marriage is one. It's not it's not the whole, it's one. So when you talk about how can you have a relationship? How can you have that level of oneness if you never relate with the person or entity? Like when you're talking about, as far as Christians go, with God, or if you're talking Muslims with Allah, or if you're talking Buddhists, enlightenment, whatever. How can you got to relate. It's got to be something you connect to. And you can find it. See, there's this other garbage people say, I don't know what it's like to be black. Pause. We know you don't know what it's like to be black. That's not the point. Martin Luther King Jr. touched on this in a message I heard one time talking about, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. touched on this point as far as regulating how people act, like legally. And unfortunately, this is why laws are there, because people just don't know how to act. They want to keep finding loopholes how to hurt folks. So we got to have all these laws all over the place. You mad at all the laws? Again, let's start promoting how to be right, and you won't have to have the laws. Because again, there is a law that governs before males, people, men, women, before humans make laws. There's already ones in place. Don't believe me? All of y'all try to go at an intersection at the same time and find out there's certain laws in place. Oh man. Okay. So again, here's a repeated thought we had spoke about last time. The statement or thought that life is simulated is partly true, because it is. There's a little bit of a setup here. Of course there is, guys. You're not having somebody make this thing and think that this is not going to have some level of setup to it, right? You wouldn't make something without having a certain level set up to it. You wouldn't make a thing that's full of chaos. That's wild. You would. Anyway, maybe some of y'all would. Who knows? To each their own. Just not from the source people think the simulation is coming from. Simulation means imitation of a situation or process. So on some level, you have to say that life is fake, which in reality, life is it's not fake at all. It's real. It's very real. And it smacks you in the face every day. The word imitation there, the action of using someone or something as a model. So again, when you're talking about genuosity, so again, we're talking about your heart, the heart of a thing. Again, is there a level of model? Because you're modeled after your creator, in all the different things that things are modeled after, as we use that phrase. Yeah, there's a level of that. But again, this is a very real thing. Again, like I keep saying, life is fair. People are not, right? Life is without bias. You have something happen in one part of the world, it's happening somewhere else. You don't see it because you don't look on other parts of the world, but it's happening somewhere else. And in the reverse, it's not happening to other people. Also, the action of pretending or deception. See, again, that's what that is dealing with. And God is not the creator of the simulation. Humans are, because humans are telling you whether or not your credit score is good enough to get a car or not. See, because they set up the game that way, right? It's not just having a sale of a car. You bought it, right? You got to have this song and dance. And again, as soon as I talk, if you got people on here with finances and stuff like that, see, again, they got a whole spiel they'll tell you because they have been told it in their minds, so they've accepted it instead of looking at anything else. Here's the truth, y'all. Whenever you get to a commodity, something that has to be traded, I'm telling y'all the very truth, and you get humans and greed involved, that's where it goes sideways. Again, the stuff is down here for us to use freely. The problem is we don't share it. So now your oil, in which is based on your gas prices, will go all over the place because people got to play around with the oil prices. Clothes, and which one is 3X and extra large and whatever cost they want to put on it because people are trading the commodity of cotton and rayon and polyester. You know, the stuff that's making them good stretch pants we stare at women at all day long. Or men, right? See, again, we somebody picking and choosing the cost here. That's all. That's all what that is. And there isn't so much, and we understand we got some big folk out there. There ain't so much extra that's being used. You got to raise the cost of the roof. We're just saying what it is, guys. We're just saying what it is. Again, people get on some things where they can do a thing and they just riding it through the roof. That's it. And it takes men and women to stand and be like, whoa, this ain't cool. Relationships, we'll do this here. We will end here. And then, because we already talked about help before, we're going to end right here. We told you guys we're going to keep it short today. Relationships are about partnership. Again, help. You need help. The boss needs workers. The boss is not doing the work on themselves. You don't see bosses in these big corporations, whether it be banks, whether it be retail, whether it be construction, you don't see the foreman doing all the work by themselves, do you? You don't see that, right? Bunch of construction business all over the place with just one person. You don't. You need help. Okay, so before you get on your high horse about how bad the help is, we can't find work today and nobody. No, we ain't working for you no more on this garbage where you don't pay us correctly and you treat us like trash and then you throw us out after we're done. This at-will employment garbage is a farce, a lie from the pit of hell itself. And it's a shame people have not stood up against it. Yeah, we sign on for work. Of course, everybody signs on for work. That don't mean that the company just has the choice to just goodbye. No one's saying anything, no representation, none of that. That's the problem. And look how long it's gone on for, guys. Do you know why? Because nobody is standing up against it. That is why. It ain't gonna happen in 5 seconds. It takes some time. So it's about a partnership. And in marriage, it's the same thing. Nobody's owning anybody. We're helping each other. The man needs help. So again, right there, you got to check. You got to check it. You got to check where you're coming from. You need help. Can't have sex by yourself, can you? I mean, unless you're talking about those who say there is an anomaly in life where two people born same genitalia. Okay, just keep it. Okay, but we understand, right? You can't. We're talking about not the anomaly. All right, folks ain't having sex by themselves. Not procreating, that's for sure. You're right. Again, we understand with artificial insemination. See, Lord, the amount of defenses in the mind. It's amazing. We're not talking about all that. You need help. Okay? You need help to do chores around the house. Tell me no woman can't cut no grass. Women can cut grass just as good as men can. See, we got to stop supporting the divisions they put in your mind. Help me, they can help you, whatever it is. And you go into certain cultures of the world, there's certain women pulling that way stronger than men. Guys got to get over certain things. I'm sorry. Yes, each gender has certain attributes. We understand that. Again, we got to get over certain things, y'all. We're not gonna work as a team, and that's why it's not working, because we ain't working it. So relationships are about partnership, not ownership or possession. Concerning interpersonal relationships, let me see how I did it. We all we got. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. We all we got, y'all. There ain't. See, that's why it's important the parent stays there, man. Family is important. Drop all that mess. Lord, they out there to kill us, folks, from the food to the water. I don't care what it is. Look around you. Look at all the chemicals they put in water. You don't need all that to purify water. I know what they're telling you. Look at the food. You got fake food now. And we ain't talking about the plants. I mean, they put fake meat out there. They've admitted, again, that's another thing you can look. Guys, understand the stage in which you're playing on. We all we got, y'all. It ain't nothing spectacular coming down from the sky to help. None of that. The power in your hands. The power is in your hands. Been placed there by the great designer and master of all. It's time for us to use it. Drop this garbage and let's go get what automatically is given to us from birth. Not this pseudo mess they made talking about manifest destiny and all that garbage. No. No. This thing has been given to us to share. Be able to set aside differences so that we can speak into each other's lives and create new life together. That's what I got here for y'all today. Thank you for walking on this journey with me. And as always, always remember always to look to find the beauty in a different view.